Kia ora, I'm Julie Park. I'm a Professor of Anthropology, and Social Anthropology is my area, with Medical Anthropology being my specialty. At the moment I'm working on several different projects. One of them has to do with a long-running study that I've been doing with colleagues to do with living with haemophilia in New Zealand. And I started this work as a sort of one-off survey in 1993, I think it was. And I've been working with people with haemophilia basically since then. I've been working with my colleague, Associate Professor Judith Littleton, on a study which is using the disease of tuberculosis as a lens to look into certain aspects of Pacific health. And we're working specifically with the islands of Tuvalu and the Cook Islands. One of the great things about that project is that it was funded by the Health Research Council of New Zealand, and we managed to get 6 graduate scholarships, and they were all for Pacific students, Cook Islanders or Tuvaluans. And I have one other project on the go, and that's with my colleagues down in Dunedin, and that's to do with looking at moral decision making at the intersection of reproductive technologies and genetic differences. There is a potential to have some effect in the world as well in health, and that's something which carries a lot of responsibility too, because you can have bad effects as well as good effects. I mean, one good example of this for me is my work with haemophilia, that just by doing research with people with haemophilia and feeding back the results to them, that provided them, the organisation, with some of the evidence, not all of it, but some of the evidence that they really needed to lobby for the kinds of organisation of services which is good for people with haemophilia. One of the things about being an anthropologist is that you're always a learner, you're always a student. You know, you're not the expert. You're doing field work because other people know a lot more than you and understand a lot more than you, and you're trying to see the world a bit through their eyes. You know, like any anthropologists, spend a lot of time with people. You know, hanging out with people is the main way that we go about our business. You know, I like working also across disciplines and across sub-disciplines. As I mentioned before, it's not just research that's kind of interesting, but I quite like co-supervising people from the other sub-disciplines within anthropology or outside of anthropology as well. And I really like supervision. I think it's a great part of the university teaching. It's hard not to enjoy interacting with the students no matter what you're teaching, put it that way. I've really enjoyed teaching medical anthropology. We've been teaching that at stage 3 level, and then I teach another more specialised course in social medical anthropology at the graduate level. That program has been extended from stage 3 to stage 2 as well. So now we've got medical anthropology from the social anthro perspective sort of all the way through from stage 2, and in biological anthropology the same. So students can get a really good background in medical anthropology from both social and bioanthropology at this university.